Welcome to KMU CYS Tutorials Lesson 1. Today we'll be focusing on navigating the file system. So I'm your presenter Evans Devanshi Walia. So from now onwards we'll be living in the terminal. Okay, so I'm going to back away from the graphical side of things and really just get your hands dirty in the terminal and make you feel comfortable. So if you never used Linux before, this is perfect for you. So I'm going to give you the pen tester perspective on why we are doing a lot of these things. Some of these commands are going to be the same commands regardless if it's on Kali Linux machine or if it's on another distribution of Linux. So if you're interested in penetration testing, if you're interested in Linux, this is where we really get into the meat of the course, and it should get interesting for you. So now, our first lesson, as I said earlier, will basically focus or learn some really basic commands that you need to know, whether you are a system administrator or you're practicing to become a penetration tester. If you're trying to get good at Linux operating system or any other of its variations, which can include Parrot, Ubuntu, etc. There are so many different variations for Linux. So now we're going to talk about navigating the file system, how to get around, how to look at files, and we'll be going through a lot of basic commands. They are like foundation commands, and to find out information about the system. Alright, now let's move on into navigating the file system. So now we're going to learn about uname, which shows the name of the system, then whoami, which actually shows the username. Again, we're going to learn about passwd, which is present working directory. We're going to learn about cd, which is how we change directories. We're going to learn about ls, which is going to be listing storage in the folder or in a directory. And we're going to talk about how to find hidden files or folders with ls. We'll talk about how to make a directory and remove a directory. Again, we're going to talk about copying, removing, and locating files. We'll talk about something called updatedb and how that pertains to locating the files. Again, we'll talk about password and how to change our password. And we'll talk about an important command called man. So by the end of this lesson, you should be pretty comfortable with all these commands. Again, please make sure to take notes. You got territory built in Kali Linux. You can also use Keep Note or even just Notepad in front of you. It will help you with the experience, and also maybe watching this video more than once will help you with the experience as well. So let's go ahead and dive right into the command line. So now, our first lesson, navigating the file system. Let me bring up the terminal. Okay, so we'll start with a command called uname. Okay, so uname basically displays the host name. Okay, it displays the host name of our Linux system. So now if I type uname -a, it displays a lot of a lot of details rather. You can see we have host name, we have kernel release, kernel version. Here you can see we have the machine hardware name, we have the processor type, and operating system as well. Okay, so uname basically it shows the system which you are using. Okay, as I said earlier, the version which you are using, as you can see here, we have Debian 4.19. So it's a very important command as well to know which operating system or with the type of Kali Linux we are interacting with. So now you can ask yourself, like, where are we at? Okay, so this is more like the traditional question someone can ask him or herself about where you are in that particular terminal. So it's very important for us to know where we are. We can do that with a pwd. So pwd, as we can see, print working directory, basically it is telling us that we're at root. Okay, so basically at this moment we're at root folder. So basically that's what pwd does. It basically displays the current working directory. So now if you are using another version of Kali, some of you it might bring something like this: home, then user. Okay, so don't worry about if I brings this working directory, it's running the same thing. Okay, so as I said, Kali Linux has different variations. Okay, so now let's move forward. We talk about changing directory, which is cd. Okay, so cd means change directory. So if I do cd dot dot, then I press enter, we can see that we have moved a step backwards. Okay, we have moved a step backwards, but in this case we don't actually really know where we are. So again, we can use a very command which will help us to know where we are with a pwd. Okay, so now it says we are at this slash folder. Okay, so this is the base folder of Kali Linux. Okay, so cd dot dot meaning we are going behind a step. Okay, so let me try again with a cd dot dot again. I see if I can go backwards one step. Okay, but still it keeps on bringing this slash folder here. So meaning this basically means this is the how far you can go. Okay, this is how far you can go. So this is the base folder of Kali Linux. Okay, so this slash folder, it is the base folder. From here you can't go anywhere else. This is the base folder of Kali Linux. So now going back, I can try to list what is in this slash folder. Okay, in this base folder I can try to list what is in the slash folder. But if I try, perhaps I want to retain, I want to go back forward one step again, what can I do? Since I said when I say cd dot dot, meaning we're going a step backwards. Okay, we're going a step backwards. But if we want to go forward, we can do that using root folder. So here we have a root folder, as you can see. This is a root folder right here. So now, if you want to go back, I want to go forward to that root folder, you can just say cd, then this root here, then you press enter. Then we can confirm that okay, we are now back at root folder by doing pwd. Okay, great. So now we are back on our root folder. Okay, so now that's how we can play around with these commands. Now, having talked about that, now let's look at another command, which is ls. So ls, short for list storage, will basically list the directory contents. So let me try to see what I have in this root folder. What am I having? Okay, so I'll do that by ls list in storage. So here I have the contents. Okay, so as you can see, these are the contents which I have in this particular folder. So another trick I want to show you, LS can also show us hidden files. Okay, as you can see, we have used ls command, and then we have seen that okay, ls has list the contents in this particular folder, in this root folder. So now ls can go further by also giving us hidden files. At the moment, we're not seeing any hidden files here. And before I go to hidden files, I want to show you another trick which ls can do. So if you want to list these folders, including files, in more like a numbered form, you can do that by ls space dash 1. Great. So as you can see now, ls dash 1, it basically displays these contents in this format, which is very organized format. Okay, so that's one of our things what ls does. If you want to display rather in reverse, you can do that with ls dash r. So this command basically will display all the folders in reverse order. Okay, so as you can see here, we started with the desktop, but now here we're starting with videos. Okay, so ls dash r lowercase r, basically it will show us these contents in reverse order. Okay, so another one, you can just do ls dash 1, so that it can display in this kind of manner, and r. Okay, great. So as you can see, as I was talking about, again another command for ls can do ls dash t. Okay, so now ls dash t will basically display the contents according to the size of that particular folder. Okay, according to the size of the folder. So another quick command I want to show you, ls dash s. Okay, so now ls dash s basically displays the files. You know, it displays the files according to the size of that particular file. Then ls dash t, it displays the files in terms of it displays the files in terms of which one was last modified. Okay, so now we can see that okay, our 10 minutes a little bit dating, so we can clear out everything with this command clear. Okay, so I just typed in clear, then everything has been cleared. Okay, so now let me just ls again. So we have these folders. So now ls can do more than what I've showed you. Okay, so let me just say ls dash la. Okay, so now we can see that here we have hidden folders. Okay, as here we can see, we can look for hidden folders here. So remember this color coordination. This color coordination which you are seeing, basically it depends with the type of permissions the folder is having. Okay, so here we have permissions files. You know, we have the permissions files here, and some stuff. Okay, so don't worry about everything here. I will explain everything here as we go further in this particular course. So now these folders with dot, as you can see, cache, config, these folders with dot, these are what we call hidden folders. Okay, these are hidden folders. Then here you can see we have a dash. Okay, so a dash basically means that it's a file. Okay, so this bash history and bash rc, these are files. Okay, Then here which you have here where there's D, here where there's D, it means that it's a directory or it's a folder. Okay. Then here where there's dash, it means that it's a file. Okay, great. So we have seen that LS can do a lot of commands, because at first when we did just ls itself without dash la, we didn't see any of this. Okay, but so we have seen that ls dash la, it displays hidden folders. Okay, so if you're looking for hidden folders, you need to include dash la. So this is very important. Okay, so I'll talk about these permissions and these properties as well. Don't worry. So you need to be aware that just because something looks like it's not there in that particular folder, it doesn't mean that it's not there. Okay, just because something isn't there in that particular folder, it doesn't mean that that particular thing is it's not actually there. It might just be hidden. Okay, so you must be aware of this command. This is a very important command, especially those who are doing capture the flag CTFs. They might hide a folder for you. So in order for you to find that particular folder which you're looking for, you need to use this command. So this is a very important command. Okay, so now we move on. So I'll just clear. Great. Okay, so now let's talk about creating and removing directories. Okay, so now say I wanted to create a directory or a folder. I can do that with mk, make direct mk for make, then dir. So I'm making a directory. So I'll just say new folder. Okay, then I press enter. Let me see if that particular file I've created, if it's existing with ls. So I'm using ls to list so that I can see if that folder, new folder, has been created. Great, we can see that, okay, this is our new folder which we have recently created. Okay, so now say that I wanted to remove this folder which I've created. So we can do that with rm for remove directory. So we can just say rm dir, then the folder which I've created. So you can start with new, then you can just tab to autocomplete. Okay, so another thing here, you can be using tab as well for you to autocomplete, which is basically very important when it comes to efficient. Okay, so now let me see if that particular folder has been deleted with an ls command. Great, so we can start, we no longer have the new folder. We've basically deleted the folder with rm. Okay, so this is how you create folders, and this is how you can also remove folders. Okay, so moving on, let's now talk about copying and moving files. Okay, so now let me just make a file. Okay, so don't worry about what I'm doing right now. We'll cover this, don't worry. Okay, so basically what I've done here, I've basically created a file named incognito, and this file is containing this text inside here. So if I list, I can see that, okay, this is the file which I've created. So now say that this file which I've created, I wanted to copy the file into, let me say, downloads. Okay, let me say I wanted to copy this file in downloads. So let's just make sure, so just a proof of concept, let me make sure that, okay, I don't have anything in downloads. So I can just cd change directory, and then if I press DOWN, I press tab, you can see nothing is happening. Why? This is because Kali Linux is case sensitive. So you need to start with a capital D, otherwise the command won't work. So you need to start with a capital D. Okay, I autocomplete. So I've navigated to downloads folder. Okay, I can confirm that with a pwd. As you can see, I'm now in downloads. Okay, so this is my path. Okay, this is my path. I'm in downloads. Now I want to see if I have any contents or any files or folders in this downloads folder. So I can do that with ls. Okay, so great. So I have nothing in downloads. Okay, I have nothing. So let me just cd dot dot so that I go back to my root folder, to my home folder. Now I'm back. Okay, now I'm back. I can do that with a pwd to confirm. Now you can see that I'm back. Okay, so now I was talking about the folder which I created. So now let me say I want to copy this folder. Okay, so I can do that with a cp for copy. Then now the name of the file, which is that incognito. Then tap to autocomplete. So now here I need to specify the destination of where the file is going. So let me say I want to transfer this file to downloads. Okay, great. So now what I've done here, I've said cp for copy, then the name of the file, which is incognito.txt, then the destination where it's going. So now it's going to downloads. If I press enter, now let me see, let me confirm if basically of that folder, if that folder has been transmitted to has been transferred rather to downloads. So I can do that with a cd downloads. So now I'm navigating to downloads. I want to check if that folder is in downloads. So ls, great. So we can now see that of a folder in downloads. But let me just go back again, cd dot dot, I got my root folder. Another trick. So now you can also list what's in the downloads folder without transitioning in that particular folder. You can list the things which are inside downloads without navigating or transitioning into that particular folder. How can you do that? So you can just say ls, okay, I'm in the root folder without going into downloads, but you can view things which are in downloads without going there. So I'll just say ls, then downloads. As you can see, now I've seen that, okay, in downloads I've included the txt. Okay, so this reduces time, for you to become efficient in Kali. Without even doing cd, going into that particular directory, you can view things without outside going into that particular folder. Okay, so now this is great. So now let me say, before I do anything here, let me remove. Okay, so even removing the file, what we can do here, it doesn't matter whether I'm in root folder, I can remove this file which is in downloads. Okay, so I can do that with rm. So rm basically stands for remove. Okay, so we use rm if we want to remove a file. Okay, but if we want to remove a directory or a folder, we use rmdir. But if it's a file, you just say rm for remove. Then since we want to remove this file incognito.txt, we know that this file is located in downloads. So we need to specify where the file is. So we say downloads. Then now the name of that particular file. So this is how you can remove a file without you wasting your time going in that particular folder and remove it. You can remove a file without transitioning into that particular folder. So if I press enter, let me confirm ls downloads. Okay, now you can see that that file has been removed. Okay, so this is how you can work around Kali Linux, removing things in that particular folder without navigating or going into that particular folder. So now let me come to MV. So what if I wanted to move a folder or a file? Okay, so again, let me just ls. Okay, so I have this incognito file. So this file is in our home folder. Okay, it's in our home folder, in our root folder. So now let me say I want to move this file. I don't want to copy. This time I want to remove this file into, let's say, downloads. Okay, let's say downloads. So we can do that with mv. mv stands for move a file. So what file are we moving? So we're moving a file incognito. So we need to specify which file we are moving. So where are we moving that file to? So downloads. Okay, I'm moving that file to downloads. So now when I press enter, the name ls again. Wow, we don't have incognito.txt file. Why? Because I've moved. I didn't copy that file, but I have moved that file. Okay, so now we can try to see if that file is in downloads, since I moved that file in downloads. So we can do that with ls downloads. Great, we can see that. Okay, now we have incognito.txt file in the downloads. Okay, so this is how you can move the file mv. If you want to copy the file at cp, so this is how you go about copying, moving, and removing files. Okay, again, I can remove the file like the way I did. Just specify where the file is located and the name of the file. Okay. Voila, when I say ls then downloads, you can see that, okay, now the file is has been removed. So now this is how we go about copying, removing, and as well as moving and removing files. Okay, so now the last thing I want to show you is the locate feature. Okay, so if you wanted to locate a file, say I wanted to locate bash. Okay, say I wanted to locate bash. So let me just say locate. Let me just clear this up. Then locate bash. Okay. So now let's see. So we're looking for a file, and I'm going to get more specific along the way. But if you type locate, you can kind of look through a system to see if you can find it. Now I'm looking, say, any type of a bin, bash, any type of let me say I'm just looking for any type of bin bash or bin bash. Okay, so we have a lot of things in here. Okay, so let me say I'm looking for something like bin bash. Okay, like bin bash. Okay, we can see that, okay, we have something which you are looking for, bash. So as you can see, we have user bin bash. Okay, so this is the path where the bash is basically located. Okay, so locate is very useful for command which you can basically use to find something, the path. So if I'm looking for example, bin bash, so now I have an idea that I need to navigate, I need to cd to user and bin, then now that's when I'll find bash. Okay, so this is the path where bash is basically located. Now this might not work right away. What you might need to do is to update the database. So you type updatedb. Okay, so let me just do that. Let me just do that. Okay, let me just clear terminal. So you can do something like updatedb, where basically updatedb. So here it says that the command not found. Okay, so this can be so another note here, you need to take note that okay, if you try to update, so in this case I wanted to update my database, but it's saying command not found. This is might be the reason, because the reason might be I have not updated my Kali Linux machine here. Okay, so this bash cell which I'm interacting with, it's not recognizing this particular command. Okay, so because I've tried updatedb and since nothing is happening, so you can use updatedb so that you can update your database and you can locate that file again. It can be really easy for you. Okay, so it has what updatedb does is that it will build the database for the information that is binding in order to locate what you are searching for. So make sure you use updatedb sort of frequently, because it will update the things which you are looking for. Okay, so in this case, don't worry about command not found, but in your case, I'm sure if you try to update the database, it will work. This the reason, as I said, might be because the Kali Linux is outdated. Okay. Okay, great. So now let me use this command again to see if I just maybe made a mistake. Updatedb. Okay, so as you can see, updatedb, it's now I'm sure it's now loading. Okay, it's loading. It's loading. Okay, so that was a typo. Yeah, I made an error. So I'm not supposed to remove I'm not supposed to space leave a space. Okay, I just need to type updatedb without leaving a space. Okay, but in my case, it's I think it's taking a little bit long. Yeah, and I don't know why it's taking so long. Okay, so you can use updatedb as I said earlier. You can, so that you can update your database. Okay, great, now it's done. So now let me try the locate command again. So locate bash. Okay, so now if I try to do locate bash, it's bringing me this information, and if you need to be specific here, there are several commands which we'll look at as we go on further into our lesson. Now we can use something called the grade, so that we can basically really find what we're looking for fast. Okay. So now let's move forward. Okay, so this is what I wanted to give you a feel on how we found files. Okay, if you're looking for a certain file, where the path of that particular file is located, this is how we do it. Okay, but don't worry about locate. I'll basically explain more as we go on further on how to find these files. Okay, because there are a lot of commands which you can use. So now two more things I wanted to show you, and then we'll close out this video and move on to the next video. So an important thing you want to do with your new account is where we're using default password. Okay, yeah, because we're using a default password, so now that's not very secure. So for you to change the password, you need to change the password, because this password which you are using, it's a default password. For you it can be Kali, those are using other variations of Kali Linux, it can be Tor, okay, or any other thing. So now it's very important for us to be using a very secure password. Okay, we need to use a very secure password, because weak passwords, they can be easily cracked. Okay, so but if you plan using this machine for future reference, you can type in a secure password, and kind of keep it in that way. Okay, so we can do that with passwd. Okay, so now here it's just telling me to enter a new password. Okay, so let me type my new password. Okay, great. Now my password has been successfully updated. This is great. Okay, so it's very important for you to change the password because this machine comes with a default password. In this case, Kali. So anyone can log into your machine. So it's very important for you to you change the password with passwd, short for password. So lastly, I want to show you something called man. So man pages are your instructions for any command that you are running. So most commands come with a man page. So let's say we wanted to look at ls. Okay, we can say man ls, and then it's going to give us all this information about ls. Okay, so here we can see ls, which is the listing directory contents. So that command which I showed you, -a. So basically, you can use -a or you can use -o. Okay, so this one basically works in a way that it will list all the contents. Okay, it will list all the contents. Then again, I want to show you that particular command you are using. This one. So this one is for long listing. So we use this one -l for long listing commands. Okay. So these are very important commands. Okay. So as you can see that okay, man pages now will basically show all this information that you need to know about each particular command. So I can just if I want to quit, I can just press Q. Okay, so man command, it's a very very important command. Okay, if you are struggling to, like, there's a command in there but you are not sure exactly what the command is, you can just type in man and search it. And sometimes you can also use L command. Okay, for example, you can just say ls dash help. Okay, I made a mistake here. You can use ls dash help. Oh, okay. Okay, I just made a mistake on the spelling. Okay, great. So now you can see again, ls again. You can get some information as well. It doesn't provide you the full man pages, but it provides you something pretty close, pretty much close to that kind of. So you can just navigate your way around if you just kind of get stuck. So this is what you can use, the command you can use, man pages. You can use, so man page is very important command. Okay, any command which you are basically struggling with, you can use man command, as I said, so that you can understand what that particular file or command works. Okay, why that particular command works, you need to use man. Okay, so man, very important, very important. Okay, so for example, any command man cd, so it will just basically tell you what that particular thing does. Okay, so as I said earlier, so now Basically, let me quit. Okay, then let me just clear out the contents. Okay, so that's it for this lesson. Next, we are going to move on to users and privileges. How to add users and how to change some sudos and some modifications to our files and permissions. So until next time, my name is Evans Devan Shewadian, and thank you for joining me.